Yo, yo, yo. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, squirrels and lemurs, ghosts and ghouls, raccoons and opossums, and everybody in between? How's it going? You guys doing good? You guys doing great? Awesome. Glad to hear that. Unless you said you were doing bad, then I'm sorry to hear that. It's okay. It's going to be okay. So, welcome to CX RIOT Radio. I'm the host here. My name is David, and I am the caffeinated CXO. That's right. And today, we're going to be reading something off of Reddit. Yeah. Reddit. So let's do that. Okay. There we go. All right. This is a list of things we all hate working in a call center. And you know what? A lot on this list is valid. I'll just come right out and say it. It is valid. So, let's start at the top. And they abbreviated customer as CX. I get that. I did that too back in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's okay. It's okay. When the customer calls in mad, you can't help them with something you're not trained on, another company deals with. Yeah. When a customer is mad because they called the wrong company, that's ridiculous. You not being trained on it is unfortunate, right? Especially if somebody else in your call center or in your department was trained on it and you have to transfer it to them. That's not good for the customer experience, and definitely puts friction in there, so that should be fixed. There should not be any silos when it comes to customer support. Silos are bad. You should have training for every aspect of what a customer could possibly call in for. Yeah, maybe there can be a tier 2 or a tier 3 support system in place, but for the most part, train your people. Or at least give them a knowledge base. An FAQ. Yeah. Next one. You have to stay in ready until you clock out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you do. Sorry. What? Not being able to hang up after the first use of verbal abuse. Why should I wait for them to call me a bitch 2 more times before I can disconnect? This one is valid. Ain't nobody getting paid enough to put up with some bullshit like that. At the first abuse, at the first screaming, after the first personal insult, you should be free to hang up. And honestly, if the customer keeps calling in and harassing, block that number. Blacklist that customer. Your employees do not get paid enough to be verbally abused. And neither do you. And it's not even that they don't get paid enough. It's because they're human beings. Now, if the customer is mad at the situation they're in, or even at the company, and they state as much, and they're not yelling at the person, they're yelling about the issue, that is more of a gray area. There's ways to de-escalate that. Of course, I'll do a video on that at some point. But no. It's not normal to receive calls back to back. This is why people experience burnout. That's technically mental abuse. Right and wrong here. It is not normal to receive calls back to back, but there are call spikes. Now, a normal occupancy rate, which is the percentage of time during an hour that an employee is helping out a customer on the phone or through whatever, right? Should be about 75%. Anything less than 75%, you're burning money. Anything above 70, maybe 80%, you're attributing to employee burnout. And don't start on they'll never burn out if they love their job. Okay, you do it, buddy. But here's the thing. That is an average occupancy time, right? That is not a constant. There are times when there will be call spikes, no matter what. Okay? And that call after call after call, it should be temporary. If that is not temporary, either the company does not have enough self-help or self-service options in place, or they are severely understaffed. Both of those can contribute to the call after call after call after call after call after call thing, right? So, or it could just be an unprecedented call spike. They happen. Sometimes there's no way to predict that. You can have the best WFM software in the world. These things happen, but they should be temporary. It should not be an all the time thing. And I don't think it's mental abuse, honestly, as long as the call center is staffed appropriately. All right. If they're trying to do more with less, take more calls with less people, it might border on that. I don't know. Being micromanaged for 5-minute bathroom breaks. Yep. I've worked at a place where the employees, if they had to go to the bathroom between their regularly scheduled breaks or lunch, the time they spent in the bathroom was taken out of their break, their normal break. That is evil and stupid. You should not penalize people for having to take a piss. If you wanted to be draconian about it, instead of taking it out of normal breaks, give everybody an allotment of 10-minute bio breaks, right? Which can be divvied up over the course of their shift, right? Now, depending on where the restroom is, in comparison to the call floor, you might need to adjust that a little bit, right? If the call floor is on the other side of the building to the restrooms, you might want to give 15, right? I think 10 minutes is fair, though, for most circumstances. Anything more than that, I would say there needs to be a medical issue. And another thing on that is sometimes people have to poop. It is what it is. Sometimes people eat something out of that vending machine in the break room. You know, the one with the sandwiches. And an hour later, they got the grumblies, right? They got the churning and the burning from whatever mystery meat and mystery sauce was on that sandwich. It is what it is. Sometimes you have to take into account those kind of things. Or women, in a lot of cases, sometimes they need longer, right? It is what it is. So, 10 minutes, don't take it literally per day. Have it as an average. Okay? I think that's the best way of doing it. I think that's fair to both the employee and the company. Is a 10-minute allotted bio break instead of taking it out of normal breaks. You should not have to micromanage that. Now, if it's conveniently always during a call spike where the bio breaks are happening, then you might want to look into it. You might want to have a talk with that individual if it's consistent. Sometimes you have to pee at the most inconvenient times. Anybody who's gone to Disneyland can attest to that, because there's no bathrooms in the parking garage or that little parking area, right? And if you didn't stop before you got there, it's going to be a bit before you can use a bathroom. That sucks. So, but we've all been there where we had to pee really bad at the most inopportune times. It happens, okay? Next one is, some calls we are just going to be monotoned. We are fucking tired of giving the Valley Girl accent for 8 hours a day. This is honestly a training issue. You shouldn't be monotone. But you probably shouldn't be doing the Valley Girl accent. So, and let's face it, most people do have a customer service voice, which is different than their normal voice. That's okay. Just make it that the customer service voice that you use, you're able to do all the time. Period. It's not normal that we are on anxiety meds just to get through the day. I take 2 a day. I don't think that's a universal thing. It's not normal that I want to bite all my equipment up after the end of the day. What's that thing called? Is it pica? Pica? Pica. Yeah, you should probably do something about that. It's not normal to be on quote-unquote long calls. We need to have a system that end calls for us if too long. What? What? It's called call control. What? Next one is, when they lie about the last call or how many times they called in thinking we can't see it. This is annoying. Yeah. That's all it is. It's just annoying. Okay. People calling your phone after work trying to talk to you for hours. Please leave us TF. That means the fuck alone. We need 2 hours to fully decompress. I get that. I 100% get that. Back when I was on the floor taking calls, the last thing I ever wanted to do was talk on the phone after. And I'm still that way today. Text me. Message me. Don't call me. If someone's dying, call me. I'm probably going to swipe up on the phone and say, text me. All right. But then you can say, hey, someone died, and I'll call you right back. Right? It's fine. The last thing I want to do is actually talk on the phone. Let's see what the comments have to say, because Reddit is always a goldmine for comments. Customers who get mad about things we cannot control. Yeah. All right. Just having every single second of your day constantly monitored and able to be pulled up to discipline you. Our software screen records us all day. And of course, having every single phone call recorded, not many jobs have it. So every minuscule detail you do is on hand to be viewed any time. They like months or in some cases years later. I could see why that would be annoying, but let's see. Staying in ready until it's exactly 9 p.m. Fuck that shit. Y'all can stay seeing me in after call work until 9. This would be a write-up. Just like the people that, if your call center closes and there's a queue at, let's say it closes at 10 and there's a queue at 10, you can't leave until that queue is cleared, bro. That's standard. That's overtime. Staying ready until your shift is over. That's like the one thing that I'm strict on, okay? I've missed the bus because of that. That's a crazy story. I'll tell that sometime. Let's see. The only time that sucks is like, let's say you have to be on ready until 9 p.m., right? You get a call at 8:59 and 30 seconds. Yes, it's annoying, right? Yeah, it sucks. It's also your job. But if your supervisor, manager, HR ever comes up to you because you got some overtime because of that, that's some bullshit. Okay? Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's annoying. Thanks for providing this information. Now, just a moment while I look into this for you. Okay. 8 seconds go by. Hello? Are you still there? Yes. I'm still looking through your file and the schedule. Okay. So. Okay. My work counts bathroom breaks as a break, so for an 8-hour shift, you can get 3 bathroom breaks total because that shift, you get 2 10-minute paid breaks and half-hour unpaid lunch. Yep, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? That's evil and stupid. Customers who ask you a question and then talk over you and you try to answer them, especially when they complain that you're not listening to them. Yeah, that's annoying. These aren't hates, these are annoyances. Heavy on the micromanaging and back-to-back calls. I work in an IT help desk, which is nothing more than a call center technically. One person on my team can take 15 to 20-minute breaks on top of their hour lunch, but as soon as I take a 10-minute break every other hour, it is a performance meeting. I'm burnt out every day. I said to my lead that I take a 10-minute break to decompress and had to complete LinkedIn trainings about persevering. He says preserving, but persevering through stress. What a joke here. The stress management / anger management training is another layer of hellish gaslighting. There might be something more to this person's story than they're letting on, but if they're not, if we're taking it at face value, that is pretty fucked up. I hated being verbally abused constantly. I hated having every aspect of my day tracked and monitored. I hated how every aspect of job was turned into a metric. I hated the constant 400 plus call queues. I also hated being in a cubicle. I found basically every aspect of the job sucked ass. Edit. Call center agent was probably the most mentally exhausting and draining job I've ever had. I've had 20 hours days as an electrician and currently work as a power plant operator and have never experienced stress and mental exhaustion like I did being a call center agent. People are scum when they aren't face to face with you, and because of this experience, I'm always courteous to call center agents if I ever have to call. I literally work around explosives and combustible gases, work around large mechanical machinery that rotates at 3,600 RPM and wouldn't budge if it ripped off my arm, and large 4,160 vac to 13.8 K vac, whatever those are. I ain't a scientist. Breakers that would likely kill you from shrapnel and shockwave to vaporize me if there was an arc flash / blast situation, and I still find it less stressful than being a call center worker. Holy shit. That's crazy. Customers that expect agents to do stuff that goes against the company policy just because they are the customer and the customer is always right. Well, we all know that's not true. Let's see. Oh, dum dum. Okay. Okay. All right. This one seems interesting, so let's read it. The more you work for a call center, the more you realize the customers are not the problem. It's the management. They wanted you to do everything on their list, and even if you missed one of them, you get reprimanded. You want us to talk to the customer for just a short time, but you want this and this and this and this included in the call. You want us to be truthful to the customer, but at the same time, blames us when the customer gives us a negative feedback for telling the company policy. They will coach you saying that these things that you are not able to do are doable, but they themselves wouldn't and couldn't do it because they know they cannot be forced to do what they are preaching. Even if your reasoning is very valid, they will sanction you for things because they will throw their nonsensical rebuttal. I was once late because there was a huge accident that completely blocked off the road to my work, and then when I was issued with an IR, I stated my reason. Then they got back to me basically saying, "You should have woken up early." Like, fuck you. Do you just want me to live at the office? Because of these things, you never felt secured with your job, even if you gave years of service to them. Okay. Completely valid. That is completely valid. All right. That is bullshit too, right? At most call centers, you are not a person. You are your stats on a spreadsheet. Period. You are whatever metrics they track. Period. You are not Jerry. You are not Sarah. You are Agent 87 and you are Agent 587. Whatever is on the spreadsheet is what you are. And that is awful. That is dehumanizing. That needs to stop. And this is not all call centers, but it's enough of them. One would be enough, but no. Unfortunately, I think it might be the majority. It is what it is. When you have coaches who only coach you when you fuck up, that is an issue. When the only time that you deal with your supervisor, right, or even talk to them, is when you messed up a call, that's an issue. If you don't get any feedback but negative feedback, that is an issue. Some of these things that the poster posted, right? Wow. Were valid. Some of them were just annoyances, and some of them were just complete bullshit, right? Someone just venting about their job. But having bathroom time being taken out of normal breaks is bullshit. No one can argue against that and still hold the moral high ground. Right? Now, does it still need to be tracked? Yes. Do certain patterns emerge? Sometimes. Do some people take advantage of that? And instead of going to the bathroom, they go out to smoke a cigarette? Sure. It happens. And here's the thing. If someone wants to waste all of their bathroom breaks to smoke a cigarette, ha, 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 is what it is. Vape in the bathroom with everybody else. Okay? So, for those of you who have worked in call centers, what did you hate the most? What did you hate the most? Answer in the comments below, because I want to read them. And if you haven't already, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share so, the algorithm picks this up because I want to hear what everybody hates about the call center industry so that people can stop making those mistakes. One thing I always hated were the stupid games. We're not in kindergarten. We're here to do a job. But that's just me. Talk to you next time.